the gales as unrelenting as ever. All day I waited anxiously for a break in the wind that would enable me to launch my canoe and leave the point I'd camped on. None came. The frigid gusts seemed only to grow stronger, howling eerily across the lifeless tundra. A second night passed with me still stranded in the same spot. Growing more anxious, I watched as yet another day slipped away without any break in the wind and waves, which made paddling impossible and me trapped on that rock-strewn point. And each day lost, I knew, was a day closer to winter's onset. Chapter 1. Plans. My passion was paddling wild rivers and lakes, and wandering silently through quiet forests, indulging my curiosity about plants, trees, and the mystery and enchantment of the natural world. Adventures I'd had, and would continue to do so, because it came with the train of wandering alone through wild places. But I didn't anticipate making any particularly long journeys in the Arctic. Then, in the spring of 2010, I happened to visit a local nature club in the Short Hills, a region of wooded, rolling hills, tumbling streams, and waterfalls south of Lake Ontario, which put in motion a chain of events that led to my becoming windbound alone on an Arctic lake. No doubt that's a common occurrence stemming from nature club meetings, and a prudent reason to avoid them. As far as nature clubs went, this one had a youngish membership, the average age being barely more than mid-70s. It was there at the nature club's meeting hall, after my presentation on canoe tripping had wrapped up, that I first heard the word sesquicentennial used in a sentence. I'd been chatting with a white-haired man, a retired professor of chemistry. "Well, you know," he said, 2017 is going to be Canada's sesquicentennial. "Oh," I said, nodding. In fact, I hadn't known this. He kept looking at me, apparently awaiting a further response. I wasn't sure what sesquicentennial even meant. "The 150th anniversary of Canada's Confederation," he elaborated. "That's right," I replied. "It's sure to be a big deal, huge celebrations," he said with emphasis. "I remember the centennial celebrations back in 1967. We went to Expo 67 in Montreal for that. Of course, that would have been well before your time." The connection between my canoe trips and 150th anniversary, which was still 7 years away, wasn't immediately obvious to me. "It'll be a very big occasion," the old man resumed. "Have you given any thought to doing something special for it?" No, I haven't." He shook his head, evidently dismayed at the lamentable failure of my education. "Back in '67, I remember there were people who canoed across Canada. Maybe you should think of doing something similar in 2017. There's bound to be lots of funding opportunities and groups interested in that kind of thing." "Well, anything's possible," I said. Still, 2017 seemed a long way off, and I thought it unlikely that something as obscure as a sesquicentennial would attract much notice beyond the ordinary July 1st fireworks. I soon put it out of my mind and returned to paddling wild rivers, observing plants and animals, wandering the woods, and for a while pursuing a passion I developed for the study of rare mosses found on certain rocks, especially the species Tychometrium incurvum. But a few years later, the old professor's supposition proved correct. As 2017 neared, Canada 150 seemed to crop up more and more in conversations and news stories. A great many plans were underway. There would be public infrastructure projects, free access to national parks, a ship traveling around Canada with 150 passengers chosen from across the country, trees planted in every province and territory, tulips bedded in Ottawa's public gardens, 300,000 of them, a unique species that resembled the country's flag, an actual flag, a massive one, raised to the top of a pole.